Hey, what's happening? What's happening? Um, I'm live. I'm going live because I don't have that much memory on my phone. But anyway, what's happening, guys? My name is Brian, better known as Big Brian. And today I'm talking about heart bypass surgery. Yeah, a very scary term. And I want to just talk about it. Maybe I help somebody out. Okay, so let me tell you how I got here. All right, so um, I've always took care of myself, lifted weights, never did drugs, never smoked cigarettes, never even smoked weed all my life. Right, lifting weights all my life. But anyway, um, I guess last year I started having this weird feeling every now and then. Like I would have to sit down after I did something. I would have to sit down, and take a little break, and the feeling would go away. So I went to the doctor. And the doctor said, "Well, let's do a stress test." I said, "Okay." So what the stress test is that it puts you on the treadmill, right? And they tell you to walk the treadmill. And they tell you to keep walking until until you get tired. So I walked for a little bit, and I said, okay, I'm ready. I had to stop. So after I did that, they said, well, they looked at my heart. So now I'm gonna tell you guys, technology now is so advanced. It's amazing what they can do. But anyway, they looked at my heart and they said, well, we gotta put something in your vein because we can't really see it that good. And I got a little worried then. I said, something in my vein. They're like, yeah. And they said, don't worry, it'll be okay. And I was like, okay. So they did that, and the doctor explains it. He says before we do it, he says, we'll shoot the stuff into you, and we shoot it in your vein. And if your vein is clogged up, a lot of times we can put a stent in there and open your vein up too. So I went, okay. So anyway, they did that, and after they did that, and I woke back up, they said, oh my God, you need to go to the hospital right now, right? For surgery. I'm like, right now? They're like, right now. And I'm like, hold on, man. I got a dog and stuff. I got to do my income tax. They said, you need to go right now. We're going to put you in the ambulance. This is how serious they said this thing was, right? They call it a widowmaker. And what it is that your heart has like veins, and both of my veins, they said, were clogged. And I'm sorry guys. Both of my veins were clogged, they say. I'm trying to show you this picture right here. That's your heart. They said both of my veins are clogged, and they couldn't put a stent in them, and I gotta have surgery. So anyway, I was like, well, I can't do it now, but I have it done, but give me time to prepare, prepare to do this. So they said, okay. I said, okay. So anyway, so make a long story short, a few weeks later, I went to have heart surgery. And I went to Geisinger. Okay, Geisinger is a very, very good hospital. Anyway, so I had to go to Danville. I'm in Pennsylvania. So I had to go to Danville, Pennsylvania for surgery. I remember it was a Thursday morning. I had to be there at 5:30 in the morning. And let me tell you something, guys. These people know, they are so good. It's amazing. But yeah, I was nervous. But so anyway, I got there at 5:30, and they did the heart surgery on me, as you can see. You can see that. Really, you can see this. You can see my scar there. And they did surgery on me 5:30 in the morning. I had triple bypass. So basically what that is I had three veins that was clogged up. And what they do is they take you can see this. They take a vein out your leg. And they use the vein out your leg to do the surgery. Isn't that amazing? And what they do is they bypass the clogged veins and put the new veins in. And my doctor name was Dr. J. I call it he was an Indian doctor, but his name was so long, but it's J-A-Y, Dr. J. And anyway, and I asked Dr. J, I said, how do you guys attach the veins? And he said we sew them in, Brian. I'm like, wow. He said, well, they sew the veins in. They use thread that is as thin as hair, and they sew the veins in. That's how they attach them. They sew them in. So anyway, guys, that's what led me to getting heart surgery. And I just want to say, go get your checkups. Go get your checkups, because like I say, they call it a widowmaker. I would have never known. If I hadn't went to the doctor, I would have never known I had this. Because most people get heart attacks. And see, I didn't get a heart attack. I got that weird feeling. But yeah. I want to show you this too. I was watching this earlier. Hang on for a second. Yeah, watch this. So I can play this again.
How early childhood educators unlock the mysteries of learning. It starts when children are very young, which is a magical time of wonder.
This guy went through the same thing. This guy right here.
Hello, and thanks for joining us. I'm Brent Cannon. Sometimes life throws you an unexpected curveball. That's what happened with local electrician John Kavanaugh when he found out that he needed open heart surgery. But thanks to his dedication and an amazing team at Community and his personal support group, John overcame adversity, and he's sharing his story now with others.
This guy was just like me, same way.
A few months ago, John didn't know when or if he'd ever play golf again. In fact, he's lucky to even be here.
Yeah, I didn't have any warning signs, nothing. My doctor just had me take a random test, and 10 minutes in the tube, and that was it.
A routine stress test showed that John had massive blockage in his heart.
Yep.
A few days later, he had triple bypass surgery.
Yep.
What took everyone by surprise is that John was healthy, fit, active.
It was a little scary. Even all my friends were like, "You? I mean, of all people, you shouldn't be getting that."
I was the same way. I had no idea. I had the same thing. He had triple bypass surgery.
What a scary thing to find and then be told widowmakers. I hate that term, by the way, but widowmaker is a description of the urgency of what needs to be done. Something needs to be done. So he agreed. We did the open heart surgery, did the bypass surgery.
Dr. Shamsuddin Khwaja, along with his team, performed the procedure successfully. And now John was ready to begin his recovery process. Thankfully, the cardiothoracic program at Community has a comprehensive strategy to get patients healthy again.
And there's steps, and I think the steps to recovery involve the whole team, and really we have the best team. And
So yeah, the recovery, I'll tell you, I want to thank every one of those nurses at Geisinger in Danville. It was so nice of me, man. So nice. Because I was in the hospital for 4 days, and them people treated me like a king. I mean, they lifted me. Because when you come out of surgery, you can't do a whole lot. All you can do is lay there, and they pull the tubes out your mouth, and I got tubes here. They got two tubes gonna be here. And they're gonna cut you here. There ain't a whole lot you can do. And them nurses are awesome. That's all I'm gonna say. They treat you like gold. And they get you back on your feet. You know, the first day I just laid in bed. Second day, they come around, they move you around, they help you sit up. And then they teach you how, you got to start walking you get back on your feet. By the third day, you walking a little bit, and fourth day, you walking a little bit more, and but the nurses take good care of you after surgery. It's amazing how good they treat you. And yeah, because I told myself before that, I can't believe I'm going home Monday. They said, yeah, you're gonna go home Monday. And I was like, because I said, I need to take you guys with me, but anyway, and I'm still recovering. I'm still recovering. I got as you can see, I got my walker, which I don't use anymore. And I got an air tank over there. I needed air, but yeah. So yeah, and when they cut you, they're cutting your arm right there. They're cutting like your rib cage, yeah. Scary process, but they make it. And before I had my surgery, I talked to several people, and everybody I talked to was like, yeah, I knew my uncle had it. And I said, how long? He had like 15 years ago. And my dad had it 20 years ago, and he's still living. So everybody I talked to was positive about it. And even my doctor, Dr. Kim, said that she's been doing it for 20 years and has never had a problem. So 20 years, she's never seen, she's never seen nothing go wrong with these surgeries. So I want to say that too. So don't be scared. They know what they're doing. They do. These doctors do this. They do this so much, It's like breathing to them now. So anyway, I want to talk about my triple bypass. I had it. I'm glad I had it done. And now I got to recover. And hopefully I live another 15, 20 years. But watch what you eat, guys. Sugar Don't eat a lot of sugar or drink a lot of sugar. That's like the worst thing. Okay? So, peace out.